Swift to ban crypto under 100K. I got blasted with message about this weekend. We're going to deep dive and see what this is all about.
I ain't gonna give in now. I just gotta live this now. I be gonna beam and I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in the ring and I'm not getting mad when I'm back with the whip. Cause I am just up on the journey. Just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors, rise. Grand Rising. Good evening, Warriors all over the world. This was a crazy weekend with messages, which was awesome. I love it. People are like, what is going on with Swift banning transactions under 100K? Well, we're going to dive into that today, which is really important. What I want you to understand right now is you're going to see a lot of interesting things happening. I want you to think of 1929 in a modern day bank run. Would you agree that last week, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everybody was talking about Bank of America was running out of money? Guys, banks don't have exorbitant amounts of cash sitting in the bank. They never have. I worked in banking for over 10 years. Banks don't have a bunch of money like you picture sitting there. Cash is a digital world. It's been digital for a very long time. Banks don't hold a bunch of money in their vaults, okay? So now even more with our transition to digital, our transition to blockchain, distributed ledger technology, on-demand liquidity, eventually cash will disappear. It's not going to happen for a while, but it'll make it harder and harder to gain your cash. And the more difficult something becomes, the more inconvenient it becomes, you move into the new technology, problem, reaction, solution. So you're going to see a lot more of that. You see Bank of America branches with no employees, McDonald's with no employees. You can't use cash. So they're transitioning you to the system. And how do they do that? Well, I'm not going to stop you. Well, what are you going to do? If you can't use cash at a store, what are you going to do? You're going to starve to death, or are you going to actually use the technology? Just like people that I know said they were never going to use a smartphone, and they have a smartphone, a tablet, and a laptop that they're addicted to, and they can't get off of it. The technology is here to stay. Now I'm going to break this down for you, but I want to share with you guys, if you need support in this transition, we are here for you. We have 7 days for free in 2023 for the 120-day challenge and our Warrior Academy. Click the description down below. We've helped 5,000 warriors worldwide and growing every single day. So if this whole ecosystem is confusing to you, it's a group of like-minded individuals with over 120 courses, 7 calls per week, live calls to help you with your questions. We also have my revolutionary 120-day challenge to help you get your shit together, exactly the steps, my portfolio, everything to help you get your shit together in 2023 in the biggest transition in human history. So dive in, description down below. All right, so let's dive right into this. Now, I want to show you some exciting news as well. Let's start out with some good news. So XLM, one of my favorite cryptos, so my top 2 holdings are XLM and XRP. They're going to be representing blockchain on the community's, the CFTC, let's make it easier, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission Global Markets Advisory Committee. This is huge, guys. So Stellar, XLM, right? So Stellar made XLM. Stellar's the company, XLM. Intrinsic value? Absolutely. Great investment, not financial advice. I'm fully invested in them. The Stellar Foundation will be one of the 4 crypto-focused organizations and the only one representing a blockchain to join the representees from traditional finance players such as JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, with Commissioner Fund at the helm. The GMAC will guide the commission on issues that affect integrity and the competitiveness of the U.S. market, U.S. firms engage in global business. Our inclusion in the committee marks another important moment for blockchain. It further acknowledges that the future U.S. markets and the industry are all connected, connected. It's right here, Warriors. It's also underscores the CFTC's commitment to building a diverse consortium representing more than just traditional finance players. Second, it presents an opportunity for our industry to continue to participate in conversations that will inform future regulatory structure and clarity. Clear rules of the road and smart policy can help unleash the sector, and we must be in the room with policymakers, regulators to help achieve that. So now we have Ripple with the SEC, with one of the biggest cases in history. It's going to be a new Howey test. And Jed McCaleb from Stellar, the Stellar Foundation, is now sitting with the CFTC. This is crazy. So Ripple, XRP, one of our investments, is sitting with the SEC in a case to change the new Howey test. Well, they're not sitting there by choice. Now Stellar is sitting with the CFTC This is wild. It's so cool. Anyways, this is the announcement right here. I just want to share that. Okay, let's dive into what you came here for. And I'm going to dive into this quickly. Okay. So Binance Swift banking partner set to ban US transfers below 100K. So here's the letter that was sent to Binance customers. Dear Binanceans, we are writing you this letter to let you know about a change that takes effect with your Binance services. Okay. So it talks about the banking partner that services your account has advised us that they no longer are able to process Swift fiat USD transactions for individuals less than 100K as of February 1st, 2023. This is the case for all of their crypto exchange clients. Please be advised that until we're able to find an alternative solution, we may not be able to use your bank account. You may not be able to use your bank account to buy or sell crypto with USD via Swift. That's key, with the value of less than 100K. Okay, I think it's down here. It talks about your credit cards. I read it somewhere else, but you can still use your credit cards. You can still, so that's the Swift system, right? So wire transfers, the Swift. Okay, so that's really important. So I think, does it say it in here? All Binance functions are unaffected by this change. You'll be able to keep using your accounts as usual. Notably, you can still buy and sell cryptocurrencies using credit cards or debit cards or through bank transfers using one of the other fiat currency supporters. Okay, so this is just if you're doing wire transfers. Everybody's panicking about this. You can still use, I don't do wire transfers to do crypto right now, right? Because the system is switching. Now, let's pull ourselves a 30,000 foot overview and let's talk about what is actually happening. Okay. So let's dive into this. So the Swift system is moving into blockchain. Okay. Ripple is blockchain. So I'm going to show you the whole ecosystem. So this is all about Swift kind of building their own system. And then I think it's more of a modern day bank run thing. That's what I'm thinking. This is what it's about. But let's talk about what's actually happening with Swift in the whole ecosystem. So this is a great sign, a beautiful sign that the transition be waiting for is here. Check it out.
And Ali, what exactly happened today? Well, the idea here is that blockchain can be a key piece here of what is critical financial infrastructure. When you think about Swift, you don't think about it day to day, Emily, because it's really underlying the entire global financial system, barring a few regions, as we know. Remember, certain Russian banks were cut off from Swift.
Okay, it's really important. She said it underlines the whole financial system. That's a fact. She's right. The reason why I think they're doing the 100,000 less, they don't want a modern day bank run happening right now, right? So they're trying to control it from their level, but they're also switching their whole system, their own distributor. They're trying to stay in the game. Swift is trying not to be eliminated
in the wake of the start of the war in Ukraine. But remember, this does connect banks globally. It is essentially a lifeline between the banks in terms of being a messaging system and a way to really kind of track what's going on among different firms across countries around the world, hundreds of countries and thousands of messages routinely. So why does blockchain matter? Because this is something that is involving a fintech company, Symbiont. It is involving Citigroup, which is one of the largest transaction banks in the world, that also is one of the most global banks in the world, Vanguard, Northern Trust. And remember, these are all companies that deal a lot with the safety and security of just the movement of assets around the world. So the testing of blockchain would really be a potential to really upgrade critical infrastructure simply with how messaging and communication works just across financial institutions of so many types across the world.
Okay, so this is sharing with us, the shift is here. This type of stuff shows you something big is going on. So I wouldn't panic about this. You can still use your debit card. You can still use your bank account. This is just Swift. To me, this is something about the transition. Okay, this is something about the transition. Do I know exactly? No, but here's what I do know is fact, figures, numbers, logic. So this is right here on Swift's site, Distributed Ledger Technology, DLT, and we're going to watch this video with them.
We're delighted with the outcome of our DLT proof of concept exercise that was looking at the application of the technology to the problem of liquidity management, which is
okay, key, the problem of liquidity management. The world is in a liquidity crisis.
A serious problem for banks. One of the things that it allowed us to do was to...
So that was key. What did he say? A serious problem for banks. So Swift said, you know what? Anything under 100,000, we're going to slow things down. Okay. We're going to slow things down. They're going to slow down the movement of money, just like they did with the C word. Okay. They slowed down the movement of money.
Confirm our conviction that the use of standards, business standards with DLT is going to be critical to getting their widespread acceptance. We were very careful to ensure that we used ISO 20022 business definitions for the data exchanged by the participants using the DLT technology. And that was important because when we came to integrate that technology into the back offices of the banks, we found that they were already familiar with the terminology and the data that we were specifying on the DLT, and therefore...
Wait a minute. There's all these Twitter people out there saying that banks aren't familiar with blockchain or going into crypto. All the banks are ready for this. The C-suite leaders are moving you into blockchain.
Made integration much more straightforward.
It's all linked to Nostro account. A Nostro account, that's an account that is held by a bank with foreign banks to support cross-border payments of its corporate clients. Essentially, there are two issues linked to those accounts that we were aiming to improve and to solve. Those two problems are reconciliation and liquidity management.
You're going to keep hearing the same thing, reconciliation. He said Nostro account. So Nostro account is one. So that's like a bank account and a bank account. So one at BNB and one at Wells Fargo. And those are called Nostro accounts. It's a reconciliation between the two, making sure the money's there. Okay. Making sure it's clear, concise, and fast.
Well, the idea was to use a shared ledger between the Nostro account owner and its servicer to share all information and all postings on a particular account in real time. So as part of the proof of concept, we worked with 34 banks to design a solution to solve that problem. So we used Hyperledger Fabric, which we combined with some...
Okay, that was key. Remember, write your notes down, Hyperledger Fabric. I'm going to show you the whole inner workings of this. Take a deep breath and stay calm.
Swift assets and deployed in the Swift DLT sandbox to allow the 34 banks to test what were the improvements to the liquidity management process and to the reconciliation process around Nostro accounts. So the first thing we learned is that from a business point of view, the proof of concept demonstrated its value. So if you use distributed ledger technology to share information on a Nostro account between a servicer and an account owner, well, you do get improvements to the reconciliation and liquidity management process. So that is the first finding. The second finding is that from a technology standpoint, yes, the progress which has been made by DLT and Hyperledger Fabric in particular was huge. We were able to solve lots of industry requirements that we were not able to do before. So we had a very strong governance ensured with access being controlled and permissions being enforced. Data was stored in a confidential manner. We had standardization built in with the support of ISO 20022, and all participants...
He's literally giving you the hints. He said, we ran it. It was secure. It ran very well. And with the support of ISO 20002, which I'm going to show you the connections,
were duly identified through their BIC and keys were signed by a certification authority. On the other hand, the POC also reveals that to take benefit of the solutions, there were a number of industry prerequisites which needed to be met. As an example, as much as it's useful and beneficial to have a platform to share information in real time, if the back offices of banks are not ready to feed the platform in real time, then the benefits are not reached.
So
well, first, we're going to work with the community on the prerequisites, promoting the fact that real-time reporting is important and is required for the POC. We'll also make sure that we will work with the community on helping towards migration to ISO 20022 as a means to reduce integration and implementation costs. From a technology point of view, what are we going to do? So we will keep on doing our DLT effort, doing more proof of concept and so forth, in order to progress towards our vision, which remains to evolve our platform with DLT capabilities to ensure that over time, our members can benefit from DLT solutions provided by Swift or third parties, reusing their Swift infrastructure and connectivity.
Boom. Okay, as we're sitting here arguing whether crypto is going to be in banks and distributed ledger technology and blockchain, they're switching it right now. The tests are going on right now. We know the ecosystem, okay? So this is the whole ecosystem. These are all ISO 20002, whatever, however you call it. This is an inner working of the web, right? This is the new web. Okay, you got QNT connects everything. You got Stellar, you got HBAR, you got IOTA, Algorand, XDC, R3, which is with with Wells Fargo, Ripple, which is Bank of America, right? You got where we at? Hey, JP Morgan, they got their own blockchain, guy. JP Morgan is massive in the banking system, guys. Okay, so you got Circle connected to Circle, you got Consensus, you got Ethereum. Everything is so. The things I want you to pay attention to is Hyperledger Fabric. You hear them keep talking about that, right? And I've showed you guys the Hyperledger. You got Accenture, ISO 20000. It's all connecting. This is happening right now as we're sitting here. This is not like, is it going to happen? Will it happen? It is happening right now. So these types of things, these announcements like this is, I think, trying to stop a modern day bank run. Right. So they're trying to slow things down because maybe the switch is happening right now. I wouldn't panic about it. Yeah, I wouldn't panic about it. I just think it has to do with the switch. It has to, right? So here's Hyperledger Fabric. Okay. So this is the Hyperledger Fabric. You can dive into these videos. And then if you've ever taken a deep dive of how interconnected Hyperledger is, okay, this is the Hyperledger landscape. You got just Accenture, you got IBM, which is huge. You got American Express, you got T-Mobile on here. I mean, all these FedEx Corporation, everything is built. They're all moving to this Web3, guys. Everybody is moving to Web3, R3. I mean, it's so clear to me what is happening. You got Ethereum Enterprises. Ethereum is so deep in the banking system. It's unbelievable. Now, Hyperledger is just the connection. It's it's like, imagine this web connecting there's Stellar right there. There's XLM. I mean, you can just go through the list, guys. It should allow you to take a deep breath. Okay. Everything's going to be okay. There's going to be a lot of FUD out there. There's going to be a lot of YouTubers trying to freak you out and panic you guys. Stop focusing on price. The price is going to be very volatile. Okay. The Bitcoin halving is going to happen. It's going to go parabolic after the Bitcoin halving. You need to have an exit plan. You need to be ready. You need to be around the right community, the right people. Okay. Join our Warrior Academy down below. If you want to coach with me privately, I take 20 people every 120 days. Our first program starts February 6th as our first 120 people that are going through the program with me. I'm taking people by the hand, step by step, for 4 months of private coaching. You can apply for that. If you don't feel like you're ready, still apply. My team member will reach out to you. Chris will reach out to you and touch base with you and see how we can support you. And then he'll share with you about the academy as well. If private coaching isn't the right fit right now, we'll get you in the Warrior Academy. And that way you can get the things you need, the resources you need, the community to rise up. We're very serious about helping people. If you want, we're going to make an announcement on the date of our conference. Okay. The date of our conference is going to be in April. And so if you want access to our online conference, if you get into X Royalty and you hold an X Royalty, you'll have access to all of our online conferences. It also gives you the opportunity to get into exclusive conferences in person here. So you get the chance to purchase a ticket to come to our conference here and hang out with me and my team here at the Academy. So you get a guaranteed spot to the online conference, and then you get the opportunity to get into the conference here at our Academy. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Everything will be in the description down below. As we always say, Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.